Hello, gorgeous. I'm Tammy. This is I Am Inspiring Women. And this week we have another great interview.
All right, so we have Marjean Holden Cartwright. Play around with that.
Okay.
Here with us today. Oh my gosh, this woman is amazing. She's an absolute inspiration. She's a speaker, trainer, actress. You also did stunt work, didn't you?
I did. Yep, I did.
So many different things that we were taking
Yes.
to read. Marjean, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, let's see, you just said it all. But I'm also a mom. I'm a chameleon. I really, it's like that's such a funny question. It's like, who are you? It's like, I don't know. I'm in a menopause. I have no idea who I am. And so it's like the things that I have done in my life, it's just like I've just been me, which means that I've followed the things that I like to do and really trying not to compartmentalize myself into anything. It's like, yeah, I've been a trainer, a transformational trainer on stage, and people go, "Oh, you're a motivational speaker." And I'm like, "No, not a motivational speaker. People are motivated by what I say and what I train. Yes. And that kind of translates also into my just everyday life with my gifts and my sacred gifts of encouragement because what I really love doing is encouraging people to live their life by their own devices, by their own design, by their own desires. It's like encourage you. That's what I do. I'm an encourager. So basically I'm a big cheerleader for everyone. you know, doesn't necessarily work on myself, but I'm a big encourager because it's like, okay, what do you want to do? And people go, I don't know. And they go, so, let's think about this. Let's feel into this. And yes, I've been a mom. I am a mom, not been a mom, but I am a mom. I have traveled the world. I'm a world traveler. I'm an adventurer. I love talking about spirituality and growth and helping people move through limiting limiting beliefs. And I was an athlete. Well, I guess not was, but am an athlete. Once an athlete, always an athlete. Even if you don't continue being sporty, still an athlete. So still have a little bit of that competitive drive and edge. So, sometimes like, oh, I can do this, right? Um, and yeah, I did stunts and acting and moving now. Being in transition period in my life, just even in my feminine energy, moving from that do into a more creative aspect and moving in the entertainment industry into producing and directing and writing and the more creative aspects, which I always have had somewhat in my realm, in my periphery in one way or another. But now fully jumping in and going into directing my first short film soon. And
That's
yeah, so it's a whole new world, like a whole new world. And it's like it lights my brain up in so many different aspects. And in fact, I was talking with a friend of mine the other day who's a longtime actor and I've known for 20 years. And he did an interview with me and he said, oh my gosh, you're gonna love directing because it's gonna light up every single part of your brain. It's gonna light up your masculine brain and your feminine brain all at the same time. And you're gonna freak out. It's gonna be amazing. And I'm like, okay.
yeah. Inside you're like freaking out, just but it's
Yeah.
a good freak out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very
So
good freak out.
is this something you chose? I mean, how did you get into doing what you're doing? Just following what felt good?
Yes. And, it's kind of like it chose me. And when I was young, I always was always into the more creative aspect of life and always into acting. And I was like, I have to be on stage and I want to be on stage and either performing in school plays or whatever it was. And then went on to college to study producing and directing television. And then when I decided after 4 years of college, I was like, you know, this isn't really getting me anywhere. I left. And I was like, who needs to graduate from this? I'm going to go graduate and be actually in the industry that I say I want to be in. And just started working in the film industry in whatever capacity I could, and landed a couple of jobs just right out of college, as a production assistant on a couple of films. And through that, was offered an audition for my first movie as an actress. And after that, it was over. I was done. I was like, I'm going to LA, and moved to LA in 1987. And voila, here I am again in LA after, yeah, 30, how many years now? Ooh, 32.
Don't think
Something.
about it. This
Yeah, so
many
I
years.
can't think about it. It's like, no,
This
no
many-
numbers, no.
This much
Just a
life.
couple, just a couple years,
Yeah,
you know.
just one or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of challenges and ups and downs, and what not just challenges, but what in yourself kept you going? Because I know acting can be kind of, so many people think that acting is a difficult thing, and it is. But
Yeah.
what keeps you going in between all that mess of not getting a job or getting a job or
Just I don't know, just sheer determination for me anyways. It was like it wasn't even something that, it's like not an option. It was just, this is who I am. This is who I be. And what do I need to do in order to continue this path? It was just that internal passion, that desire, that drive, that fierceness, being in my 20s, and like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I do. And um it was something that I knew really early in life, that I would be in the entertainment industry, and that's where I would shine my light. And there was a period of time in 2003, 4, 2005 when I left the industry, and I was like, I just can't do this anymore. What but I need to have a direction. And that's when personal development, really training on stage, fell into my world, and became the next phase for me. And pursued that and did that. And it's been 13 years since I led my first course, because it's 2019, and 2006 was that first year. But it's like, okay, it's a 13-year cycle, and now what's next? Because that seems to be like now that I'm into, like, almost halfway through my 50s, mind blowing. Um, then again came to this point where it's like, okay, there's a transition happening. And it's all the way around the board. It's physical, it's mental, emotional, it's spiritual, it's everything, like in one fell swoop. And so it's like, okay, what's next? Universe, God, what am I doing? you where am I going? Because I've primarily been driven by that just sheer, go get it masculine, like, you can do this, girl, get out there and do it. And that is a very challenging place to be for many, many years, and not ever really balancing into that. Okay, just breathe, take a breath, be in the feminine receptivity, as opposed to pushing and driving and driving and driving. It's just like, wait, sit back and just allow inspiration to filter through, and then take the action.
so how difficult has that been for you? Because that's
Oof.
that push, 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 and then you get this signal from the universe,
Yeah.
however you want to put it, kick in the ass,
Uh-huh.
that says that's not how you can continue to do things. How did you deal with that? I know that you've had some medical issues, and I know that was a part
Uh-huh.
of that transition. Is that
Yeah.
is that what was the signal for you, or was it, gradual, where you realizing that maybe I need to change things?
Oh, no, that wasn't the signal. That was just finally the thing that took me out. you know, because the signals came. And I was like, no, I can do this based on what I teach. I can do this. And push through. And then it came to a point where it's like, no, you can't push through this anymore. And how did I deal with it? To answer your question, not well. You know, I didn't deal with it well because um, being conditioned in a certain go here masculine, that arrow aspect, there wasn't any, training or anything in the other aspect of just like allow yourself to just be still. And there've been moments of it, don't get me wrong, there've been moments of it where I've just taken my time and just relaxed, but there was always something on the other side of that. It's like, oh, I can take a week off here and there. I can take a couple of days here and there, but then right back into it, as opposed to, surgery time was like, nope, you're not doing anything. And I prematurely went back to what I was doing. And I, you know, I noticed it in a very different way. I'm not gonna say I was yeah, I was definitely confronted with, some pretty hardcore, like, yeah, this was way too early. And, now you get to deal with the other consequences of that, which, not always nice, not always like the joyful aspect of change. It's like, oh, didn't deal with that one very well. Ugh, yeah. What can I do differently next time? And it's challenging because it's like we've been driven as women, as alpha females. I'm going to call myself that because I know for sure I'm an alpha female. Go out there, get it done. And being the alpha female, we're not always taught to just be in that feminine aspect because we've been raised and taught that that feminine is a dirty place. It's not a fun place. It's not the place where that's strong. And it's not, it's these all of these things, these anti things that we have been um conditioned too, as opposed to, wow, this is a natural state of being for all beings,
Yes.
not just feminine and not just feminine, but the feminine meaning if we take the word feminine out, it just means that connection, that more receptive space, as opposed to, oh, it's feminine or it's masculine. It's like, no, this is the receptive place where all information can come in, where all inspiration and design, and
Creativity and outside
creativity,
creativity. Yep.
outside creativity comes in. And regardless of whether it's a creative idea to create a structured plan or a piece of art or an engineering model or whatever it is, it's a creative space of being connected to a greater wisdom,
Yep.
right? And I I had really not had a lot of practice in that. Even and funny as it sounds, being in the entertainment industry, there was a one aspect that I was very, you know, versed in the creativity of acting because you do have to listen and you have to, be in that space of allowing the information to come through in order to relay the character's emotions and where they're at. And when I stopped doing that and pursued the personal growth industry from a different angle, what I was teaching wasn't geared really necessarily towards that receptivity. Yes, touches of it here and there, but more go after what you want. And it's like, but wait a minute, what I want and what's for my highest good and what's really my meant for my soul to do may not be in alignment.
Right.
But we can get caught up in that matrix of, well, this is what worked for this person, this is what worked for that person. Do this, do that, shiny penny and oh, this here and that there. It's like, but wait a minute, my soul's not resonating with that. It's like, that's not where my light wants to shine. It's like, so then there's that other trap of like, I went down that road and I went down that road and I went down that road and I did this and I did that because they said
Yep.
that that's what I need to do, you know? And it's like, why isn't it working for me? Well, it's like, because the soul's like, because I don't want to be there.
No.
That's not where I want to be, regardless of how logical it seems. And no matter how it's working for other people, and constantly going, but it's, that not judging, right? It's
Being
like I'm my own worst judger. We are all our own worst judger, and
we're
I will
hardest on
I
ourselves. Absolutely.
hardest on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So I'm learning to I'm learning to not be as harsh on myself.
So that being said, with everything that you've done, what does it take for you to what does it take for you to feel successful? I mean, how long did it take before you felt like you were successful in what you were doing?
You know what? I don't think I always felt accomplished, you know? And I always felt like, yeah, I have had a lot of success. Do I, and I sort of like, when you become an actor, you sort of feel like, oh, when I get that big A-list movie and I'm a big movie star, then I'll be successful. It's like, just getting an acting job is a success, because I mean, at least for me, it was like I had always, been like, yeah, you got this. You got this. You're so conditioned as an actor to hear the word, no, you didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. And then you get the yes. You're like, "Huh, what? I got a yes? Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is a huge success. This is amazing, and being so grateful. It's like I've had some of these most amazing experiences of showing up on set and just being like, wow, I get to do this. This is amazing. I get to be completely a different character, which is a part of myself, which is not a part of myself, which, other people really identify with. And wow, what can I bring to that may inspire people?
So I love that you said that because it's so many people think that, this end goal is going to make me feel successful. If I have X amount of money, or if I get to this, the penthouse office, or, the corner office, or the penthouse suite, or whatever,
Uh-huh.
that's going to be my deciding factor of whether I'm successful or not.
Yeah.
And that's not really
Not in my
achievable.
experience.
No, no. No,
It's like,
does your family support you? I mean, you know, most most of the time when somebody says they wanna be an actor, it's like, "Oh god, how are you gonna," or any kind of an artist, you think, "Oh my gosh,
yeah,
how are you gonna make money doing that?" I mean, has your family been supportive of
always.
choices? That's amazing.
Always. They always, my dad passed away. It was his 14th anniversary 2 days ago. Um, yeah, of him passing away. And he always supported me. My mom always supported me. And, sometimes I think, oh, yeah, because I was the baby, I was the third one. And they were just like, oh, we're too tired to like try to do anything else with you. So I was always the more outspoken one, the more like, I'm going to do this and you're not going to stop me, just had that kind of personality. Right. And so they were like, okay. I was like, don't worry about it. You won't have to pay for my way. You won't have to, do this, that, and the other. And they're like, okay, whatever you say, so I took that on very early in life, that I'll put myself through college and ask for very little support, and which on the flip side was like, oh, how do I ask for support now? You know? And oh, good, I get to practice that. Awesome, woohoo! you know
Yeah,
it's like,
not freak
oh
out
my
about it.
gosh, and not freak out about it and be like, oh, it's okay to ask for support. Nobody gets there on their own. Nobody, not even, it's like when people say, I did it on my own. It's like, nah, somebody had to say yes to you.
Mhm.
You may have gone 90%, but someone had to say yes somewhere along the point in the journey. Someone had to say, hey, yeah, yeah, we support you. We're behind you. We'll finance you, or we'll we like your idea. We say yes. It's like, yeah, you may not have had a support system around you getting to that point, but once you got to that point, somebody did say yes, right?
Yeah.
So we're all here helping each other. I mean, and it may only have been one person. It's like there was one person in my corner. Okay. It's sort of like the Rocky Balboas of the world. It's like, nobody thought Rocky could do it. And boom, there you go. Granted, it's a movie. However, that happens every single day all over the planet where, we're not conditioned to continually to support each other. It's like, here, you're on your path. Great. Here, you're on your path. Great. Here, you're on your path. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Keep going. Do that. We're conditioned to judge ourselves and judge others and, compete with each other and say, oh, what they're doing is way better than what I'm doing. Why?
Yeah, and that's that you'd asked me earlier why I wanted to create this series and this whole podcast and um, YouTube channel was because I see a lack of women supporting women.
Yeah.
It's growing, and
Yes.
it is becoming a more of a, I don't want to call it a thing, but we do need to support each other and being okay with accepting that support. It's
Yeah.
a hard. I don't know about you, but for me, it was a hard thing to, and it still is to some degree, to ask for help and then accept that help.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, I
Getting a lot better. Getting a lot better. I think it's probably because I just wore myself down and now I'm just too tired to say no to help.
Yeah. All right, fine.
I'm like,
I'll accept it.
okay. Okay.
Throw your hands
I'll
up and just
accept
all
the
right.
support. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Exactly. So, Marjean, do you have written goals?
You know what? I used to have written goals all the time. I want to do this, 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 and this. And I know that that is a way to achieve and accomplish and just strike things off of the list. Now that I have gotten to this point in this transition in my life, you know, it's like my goal is to wake up every day and feel good. Because it's like the hormone imbalance is interesting
Not have a
to
hot
say the
flash.
least. Yeah. It's like, oh, suddenly there's this energy that comes over me and it's really warm and it's like, whoa, 5 seconds ago I was freezing and now I'm not. You so right now it's like I have allowed myself to not write down so many goals because this transition period for me has really I've noticed that anytime I go, oh, I have to achieve this, 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 and this, my body immediately goes into stop,
Resistance.
to resistance. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be with this for now. you
And
know,
how are you doing with that? I mean,
it's hard,
okay.
man. For me, it is really hard because I have taught, write down your goals. What do you want to achieve? Set your intention. And so my intention is to follow that next, to follow the inspiration as opposed to, oh, I'm going to move out of desperation now. We move either in inspiration or desperation. And I'm like, I want to be moved by inspiration. And I keep talking to, you know, um, girlfriends and people who have gone through this particular phase of life and spiritual, healers. And God, I'm just like not inspired by a whole lot right now. And they're like, that's okay. Just be with, having some time to just be with yourself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? you know? So, but now it's really like it's the practice of what am I really inspired to do? What
Mhm.
am I really inspired to take action on? Because before I was just taking action just to be taking action, and that gets exhausting.
Yeah.
And so, from the more feminine space, there's no, and working towards not judging, like some days I go, God, and this is like a real place. I'm like, uh, I just sat on the couch all day
And did nothing.
and did nothing.
And I don't know
What
if
am
I'm
I
okay with that.
and I don't know if I'm okay with that. But guess what? It just happened.
Yeah.
You know? It just happened. And uh is tomorrow gonna be the same? I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
And one of my girlfriends was like, you know what? You just need to sit on your butt and just meditate. Listen to some, Dr. Joe Dispenza and rewire your brain. And I'm like, wow. And it's not easy. It's just not easy. I mean, I would like to say yes, life can be easy because it truly can be. And it takes a lot of um, diligence to uncross the wires of the conditioning of you have to work hard for everything you get.
Yep.
And coming from work hard for it and then it will, you know, feel better, mean more. It's like, can we challenge that and say, why? I just maybe it doesn't feel any better working as hard as I work for things. Maybe it does feel good to just wow. I took inspired action. I didn't waste a lot of energy and it feels really good. you know it's like, and I've had to do a lot of work on myself in this place because it's like, whoa. And one of the healer that I'm working with right now, she's out of Germany, and she has an incredible technique that she has been developed and been given from the divine, which is a very feminine place to be of unhooking all of these old beliefs and things like that. And we've become friends over this as well. She was one of my students, and I was just so super drawn to her. I was like, wow, this is really big stuff. And she said, yeah, because what if life is just meant to be easy? Like if we just going with the flow of the
What?
way. And I said, yeah, wow, huh. I kind of teach this in one of my courses, but I haven't taught it as much as the other go get it, get it, get it, get it.
Yep.
It's the feminine of, watching, the example I always use. And I have to remind myself constantly. It's like a river doesn't, you know, go, oh, I'm going to resist going downstream. I'm going to resist going with the flow. The only thing that happens when the river isn't flowing properly is that there's an obstacle in the way. Oh, maybe a tree fell in the river or there's a huge rock. But what does the water do? It doesn't stop at that point. It goes and it flows right around it.
Yeah, we need to be more like water.
More
Actually,
like
that
water. Bruce Lee said that. More like water.
that actually brings me into what do you do for growth, for personal development, for self-development? What do you obviously you teach a lot of that. Now,
Yeah.
teaching that obviously helps to instill it in yourself, but what are the things do you meditate? Do you journal?
I
What do you do?
I was not a big meditator. I have never, I use motion as meditation, like walking
Mhm.
or just movement, dancing. That has been, as a creative, that I find helps me a lot. And then just recently, like really just recently in the last few months, I've gotten into just like sitting meditation, like and doing guided meditation
Mhm.
because I've always found it like, my mind will just wander here, there, and everywhere. And like, oh my gosh, like some weird random thoughts. And I'm like, yeah, okay, there's one of those 70,000 weird random thoughts that I've had today. But working more in that realm of, um, the guided meditations and really doing that and found some apps that I really like. and trying a variety of things to see, because one day one thing really feels good and then the next day something else feels good, and not really getting locked into the rigidity of saying it has to be this way, because then I find myself in resistance,
Okay.
as opposed to if today I go, huh, I'm feeling drawn to do this meditation, or I'm feeling drawn to do yoga for the next 15 minutes. I'm really drawn to shaking my body out, in a dance kind of way right now. And that's very feminine. That's very flow. It's like, what's the universe gonna bring now?
And being okay with that.
And being okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Because,
Yeah. Yes. That's
sometimes,
key. You've said that a couple of times.
yeah,
Being okay with that. Because we do get into, as a conditioned, response, a conditioned society of saying, it's not okay to deviate from this thing. It's like
you set yourself a
you
goal
gotta
to do X, Y, Z, got to do X, Y, Z in that order, and being
yeah.
okay with, no, I need to go to X to A to Y to Z
Yeah.
to E, because that may be what you need at that moment.
Yep. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so then it sounds to me, actually, that kind of is funny that my next question, are you a planner or a go with the flow type of person? It's like you've gone from being a planner to a go with the
Yeah.
flow kind of person.
And I'm a both kind of person, actually. I'm a both, because it's like, but I'm finding that if I do too much planning right now,
Mhm.
like of how my life needs to look, eh, yeah, it doesn't happen. Now, the other example is, hey, I'm directing my first short film coming up.
So
There is a certain amount of planning that needs to go with that. And so for me, that's in a creative aspect. And I go, okay, what do I need as the director? What needs to be in place for me? And going back to the producer and saying, hey, I would like this, 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 and this, and I need it to happen by this time, because when we are when we go to shoot, you know, I need these things in place.
yeah,
And that's your job. If it's going to be my job, which, okay, that's cool too. However, because my automatic producer instinct kicks in,
have
it's
you
like,
done producing as
"Dang."
well?
I've produced a couple of things, small things, but there's just something that it's strange, because it's like, my husband was on set one day and I went with him. I went with Eric, and it was somebody else's thing, and I walked on set and I knew exactly what needed to be done everywhere with everybody. And I was like, time for me to walk away, because if I stay any longer, I'm taking over. And then, it's not going to be their film anymore. It'll just be my film. And I was like, that's not really why I'm here. Okay, I got to go.
Before I decide to take over the whole thing. And
Yes. Yeah.
so it sounds like everything that you're doing is fun, but what do you do specifically for fun?
Oh, geez, that is a good question. Like yesterday, we went to my goddaughter she's a cowgirl, and she had a high school rodeo yesterday. So we went out and we watched her at the rodeo, and it was just fun. It was just awesome to be out there and see these kids on these horses doing their thing. And it's one of the things that I really love doing for fun is I love to ride. And I haven't done it in a long time. And it's like, yeah, I need to get my butt back on a horse and I need to ride. I love doing that. It's just, I love going to movies. And it's weird because it's like the movies is all part of like what I'm here to shine my light in. But that's the thing that I lose track of time with. It's like watching movies and watching television shows, and I'm constantly and that's fun for me. It might not be fun for other people, but it's fun for me to watch a series and go, "Ooh, how did they do this? Let me pay attention to the writing, like
I
the
was just gonna
directing,
ask you if
stuff
when
like
you're
that."
watching. I was gonna ask if you're when you're watching, do you know, analyze it and be like, "Oh, you
Yes.
could have done this, or you could have done," and that's, I can imagine that being fun because you're familiar with that process. And so you can
Yes.
take that process and watch something and watch it for fun, but then also watch it with that background of knowing
Yeah.
this is how they did that. That's cool.
Yes.
That's really
Yeah. And sometimes I forget. Like if it's done really well, I forgot how they do that. It's like, oh yeah, it's the magic of movies. Hello, Marjean, you know this. But it's like when it's a really great production and things like that, I go, oh, but there are certain movies that I'll just watch just for fun, like comedies. I'll just watch those for fun. It's like because it's not because comedy is not an area of for me that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to direct comedy or I want to do comedic stuff. That's not my focus.
right.
It's like my focus is science fiction, action, those kind of things because that actually I get to be super creative and in feminine and it actually quelches my like saturates my masculine part as well. So it's like this complete balance for me. It's like, oh, I can do science fiction, action, you know, and both sides get fed
Right.
and both sides are happy, right? As opposed to, oh, if I just did one specific thing, then it's like, out of balance. So it's really interesting because I'll just watch comedy just to watch comedy just to laugh, not like, oh yeah, I want to go direct a comedy film or I want to go direct comedy television because that's not really
That's not your thing.
interesting to me. That's not my
Yeah.
thing. My thing is like the thing that I do have the desire. Oh, yeah, action. Something with action. It could be action drama, it could be just action, whatever. Science fiction, fantasy, action, that
So
kind of stuff really
the
kind of
movie
lights
that
me
you're
up.
gonna be directing is going to be like a science fiction action movie as well?
It's a action short. Yeah,
Action short?
it's a sci-fi action short. You know, it's a
So
little
it's
light. It's light on the sci-fi, but it's light on the sci-fi,
yeah,
but it's an action short and it's female driven.
awesome. I love
So
that.
yeah. Yeah.
So I love that you said female driven. Do you have other women that inspire you?
You know what? I have so many women that inspire me, and not necessarily like famous women, but I have girlfriends that inspire me because it's like they've been through so much. Like my girlfriend, she's a stunt woman, and she's just like she's got this most beautiful, amazing, kind heart, and she's like always there for people. And I'm like, she inspires me. My girlfriend who does morning movement and she's a dancer and she's gone out and she's gotten her dance um groove on. And it's like she inspires me. And she's like, oh, I'm studying this and I'm doing this. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, it's fantastic. And I know that she's come up against a lot of the same things that I'm going through. And she's one of my go-tos, like, oh, I'm feeling this. And she's like, oh God, I've already been there, done that. What about this? Try this, do that. Um, my mom's inspiring. She's pretty tough cookie, and I always, thought I never looked at her in a way that like, oh my God, my mom's so super inspiring because it's like I always identified more with my dad, with the masculine. And then like watching her and everything she's gone through, I'm like, oh geez. Wow, woman, you are strong.
I love that. I love that you're talking about people who are what some would call everyday women because
Yeah.
like you said, your mom, my mom has really inspired my grandmother. These are women who nobody else knows. Outside world doesn't know, but some of the people that can inspire us the most are the ones who are close to us that we just I don't want to say take for granted because we've seen the way that they've dealt with life, but we don't realize to what extent they've had to deal with life.
Yeah.
Until we get to that point where we're like, maybe it's when we're in that situation, then we're like, oh, maybe so and so has a better idea of how to deal with this, and then we're like, oh yeah, that's somebody who's inspiring now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Big time.
that's that's what astounds me is that we need to be able and be supportive of each other when we're going through those things. I think it helps out. Like,
Yeah.
I call you and you call me. It's like, oh my God, I can't take it right now. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's having each other's back, you know,
Yeah.
and being able to communicate and being able to communicate in a positive way. It is possible.
Yes.
We need to do
Yes.
it.
It is possible.
So, Marjean, what kind of a legacy do you want to leave?
Mm. My big desire, my big dream is to really leave, especially my daughter, that balance of, I can be strong and I can be feminine, I can be creative, I can be, direct, and really be follow my desires and my dreams for her. Um, and also just, as many people as I can inspire to shine their light, that's what I want to do.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of legacy for me. And um, have people go, wow, she really inspired me. Like, I get it. I'm not going to say I get it all the time, but I do get, every once in a while when I need it. I think when I need it most, somebody says, do you remember what you said to me? And I go, nope, don't remember, because it doesn't come from me. It comes through me. And they said, you told me this. And I go, oh, my girlfriend just said that to me last week. She's a singer, and she's up for um, Emmy consideration for her album, which is phenomenal. And she
Yeah.
goes, "Do you remember at Life Directions you told me this?" And I went, "Nope, don't remember." And she was like, it always stuck with me, and I will always remember you for that." I went, "Wow, wow," because it wasn't me. It was a spirit move through me. This is, what needs to be said.
And that's allowing that feminine, that download
Mhm.
ability to come through you. And you've done the same thing with me. And you know, even though I don't remember exactly what you said to me, and
Yep.
you remember calling me out in front of the entire nation. And Roy brings it up occasionally because um you did it in such a kind but tough way
Mhm.
that you know I needed. And then I noticed that with someone else, you switched that just a little and were a little bit, a slightly different method for what they needed. And that ability to shift
Mm.
is what makes you so good at what you do in that aspect because you have that, like you said earlier, that chameleon like ability
Right.
to be able to speak to whoever on in a way that they understand and they can appreciate and take to heart, like you said with your singer friend. I'm sure it was a different way than you
Yeah.
brought me to realize the things that I need to realize. That's one of your great gifts, and I really appreciate that.
Mm. Thank you.
Of course,
Mm.
love you. So, Marjean, favorite book or books? Amazing. That's an amazing deck too.
Yeah.
That thing is the bomb. I love
Yeah.
that deck. It's one of my favorites. um, this podcast and YouTube and all that is going to be for girls, young ladies, women out there.
Mhm.
What would you like them to know? What knowledge would you like to impart? Thank you. So one last question. What's one question that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you? Favorite. I made Roy get out of bed last night to go get us ice cream. Marjean, thank you so very much
You're
to
welcome.
inspire so many other people. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out and sharing
Thanks.
everything about yourself with us. Thank you.
Mhm.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and would love to have you back again. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button from wherever you're listening to this. Thank you for all the support because I'm here to lift you up, inspire, and encourage you. Have a spectacular day. Until next time, continue to be the light in the world and don't forget, live life adventurously.